Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and pleasure to speak to you on the occasion of the first European-Israeli Startup Media Summit. Let me start by congratulating the ARD team in Tel Aviv, and in particular TV correspondent Susanne Glass, for this very valuable initiative. We are all aware that media in general and social media in particular play an ever more important part in our lives. They are vital for safeguarding our open and democratic societies. We all depend and rely on quick and trustworthy information for forming our views on international and national developments. But Alice, we all know that media can also be misused for disseminating xenophobic and anti-Semitic views, propaganda and hate speech. No open society can tolerate this. As the Austrian philosopher Karl Popper once stated, and I quote, "If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed, and tolerance with them." End of quote. In this context, let me be very clear. Austria takes its historic responsibility in the fight against anti-Semitism extremely seriously. We are therefore very concerned about rising anti-Semitic attacks all over Europe. Sadly, even Austria is not spared from such shocking events. Most recently, we had to witness the attack of Eli Rosen, the president of the Jewish community in Graz, the second largest city in Austria. The authorities reacted decisively, and the perpetrator was identified very quickly. The Austrian government strongly condemns this attack. There simply cannot be any room for anti-Semitism in our society. We are equally concerned about social media fueling hate speech and anti-Semitic language. The Association of Austrian Internet Providers has set up a virtual contact point for all Internet users who come across neo-Nazi or racist content. Moreover, the Austrian government is currently preparing a set of legislative measures against hate speech online. All at the European and international level, Austria is closely working together with Katharina von Schnurbein, the European Commission's coordinator on combating anti-Semitism. We also cooperate closely with the OSCE personal representative on combating anti-Semitism, Rabbi Andrew Baker. And we welcome the designation of the High Representative of the Alliance of Civilizations, Miguel Moratinos, as United Nations focal point on anti-Semitism. During the Austrian EU presidency in 2018, the European Council for the first time approved a declaration on the fight against anti-Semitism and the development of a common security approach to better protect Jewish communities and institutions all across Europe. Austria is also an active member of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance and was among the first countries officially adopting its definition of anti-Semitism in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, 75 years after the end of the Second World War and the liberation of the concentration and extermination camps, we all need to remember the atrocities committed against millions. We cannot falter and we cannot hesitate in our fight against anti-Semitism. In this context, education is key. Each year, around 40 Austrian teachers are sent to Israel for a seminar at Yad Vashem and at the Center of Humanistic Education at the Lochamei Hagateot Memorial. Back home, they're passing on the knowledge to the pupils. We have to be aware that we are among the last people who have the chance to listen and to learn from the stories of the survivors of the Shoah. They are a stark reminder of the horrific crimes to which anti-Semitism, other forms of racism and hate can lead. It is our task and responsibility to pass on the stories to future generations. One of those important voices was Gideon Eckhaus, who had to leave Austria in 1938. We mourn his passing away in June this year. He will be missed as an important voice, as witness, and as admonisher. He will be remembered as someone who always focused on the younger generation and will serve us as a model on how to ensure that remembrance of the Shoah stays alive. Against this background, let me tell you that just days ago, on September the 1st, a very far-reaching amendment to the Austrian Nationality Act entered into force, extending the Austrian citizenship to all descendants of victims of Nazi persecution. The past cannot be changed and it cannot be rewritten, but we see this opening of our citizenship as an expression of the Austrian ongoing endeavor for reconciliation and redemption. And I'm happy to say that last week, Ben-Zion Lapid, a Holocaust survivor from Vienna, was the very first person to receive this new Austrian citizenship under this new law. Ladies and gentlemen, Austria and Israel share a long and complex history. And I'm glad to say that today, the ties between our two nations and between our two people are as strong as never before. The Austrian government program contains an explicit commitment to Israel as a Jewish and democratic state and to its security. Our growing economic exchange, our wonderful collaboration in areas such as science and research, as well as our educational, cultural and social relations would merit an own long elaboration. And I'm therefore all the more pleased to be able to speak to you today as part of this very fruitful exchange. I wish you all a successful conference and I thank you for letting me participate. Thank you.